Today I'm going to show you how to make your own fajita seasoning mix. Hi, I'm Aaliyah Millam. I'm the founder of the food blog Premeditated Leftovers and author of the cookbook Prep Ahead Meals from Scratch. Now, why would you want to make your own fajita seasoning mix? Because you have complete control over the ingredients. I was shocked one day when I was looking at one of those fajita seasoning packets and it said it had GMO ingredients. And I'm like, whoa. There's no herbs and spices that I know of that are GMO. Why is this GMO? Well, they used cornstarch as a preservative in there. And here's the thing, when you make your own fajita seasoning mix, you don't have to put in cornstarch. You don't have to put any preservatives. You can leave out the sugar that's in a lot of the spice mixes. Okay, let me show you how easy this is to make. We are going to start with chipotle chili and ancho chili. Now these spices are a little bit expensive, but you're going to see that they're going to go a long way. I'm making a mess because this is real life. Now I'm going to make a lot, so I'm going to make 1 tablespoon, and since my tablespoon doesn't fit in there, I'm using a teaspoon, and 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon, and it's not perfectly level, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, because it's really forgiving. Now I'm going to use ancho chili, and we're going to also use a tablespoon, but I have a tablespoon that fits in this jar, so we will just go ahead and use that. Then I like to use smoked paprika. I just love the smoky flavor that the smoked paprika adds. So, and I buy big jars of this. If you buy the small jars, they're pretty expensive. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of chili powder. And I've got these wooden spoons online from Utensi. You can grab those if you want, if you have these big containers. And sometimes I cheat and I just shake off the onion powder and then use it for the garlic powder. Okay, for cumin, again, this is a tablespoon, but I don't have a tablespoon that fits down in there, so I'm going to use 3 teaspoons because that equals a tablespoon. And I'm using Mexican oregano, and it's again 1 tablespoon, but I'm going to put 3 teaspoons in. And here's the thing with oregano. If you cannot find the Mexican oregano, you can go ahead and use regular oregano, but I just like the little different spice of the Mexican oregano. Okay, for my salt, I use 2 teaspoons of salt. If you can't have salt, you can go ahead and leave this out though, or you can do a salt substitute. That's the great thing about making your own spice mixes. You can do whatever you want or need to for your own health. Okay, as if 2 chili powders wasn't enough, now I'm adding cayenne powder, but it's only half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper. Coarse ground is my favorite. For some reason, I just feel like it's a little bit more flavorful, but you can use whatever pepper you have in your cupboard. Okay, so you can just stir this together. I start stirring it a little bit like this. And since I make this in a mason jar, after I've stirred it a little bit, just to kind of get it started mixing, I just put the lid on and I shake it. And there we go. We have our own fajita seasoning mix. Now I'm going to go and use it to make some fajitas. All right, so I have the chicken and the peppers and onions ready to make fajitas. So I'm just going to show you real quick how I make fajitas on the stovetop. You guys can make fajitas however you want. I love them on the grill. Sometimes I bake them, but the fastest, easiest way, especially when the weather's bad, is to cook them on the stovetop. So the first thing I do is I add some oil. I add 1 to 2 tablespoons. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons today, and I'm using avocado oil, but you can use olive oil if you want to. Okay, now my measurement is usually 2 teaspoons per pound of meat and 1 teaspoon per pound of veggies. I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon, that would be 3 teaspoons, and I'm going to sprinkle it on, and then I'm going to toss, and I'm going to evaluate. Now, this is the great thing. Since it isn't a packet, You get to decide. You get to say, oh, maybe I want more, maybe I want less. Okay, these are not going to be as pretty once we stir them all up, but we're just going to make sure everything is coated. And I had some really big peppers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add maybe just a tiny bit more. Now, my family loves heat, so I'm just going to add just a little bit more. That's probably about 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to season, just stir everything to make sure everything's coated. And once we have everything coated, I'm just going to cook this on the stovetop, and it's going to take about 15 minutes. You can do the same thing by putting it on a sheet pan and putting them in the oven, cook at 450 for 10 minutes, and they're perfectly done, or put them on the grill. However you want to cook them. All right, I just pulled the fajitas off the oven. I'm just going to load them up for my family. Fajitas are such a fast and easy meal, and they're one of my favorite things to make, but I don't want you to limit using your fajita seasoning mix just to making fajitas, because you can add it to so many other things. You can use it when you're cooking vegetables to add a punch of flavor. You can even add it to ranch salad dressing and make your own fajita salad. You can click on the link below and find the printable recipe for my fajita seasoning mix, and I'll also have some ideas at that link for other ways you can use your fajita seasoning mix. If you haven't already, follow me for more quick and easy recipes, and if you are following, make sure you click the bell. That way you're notified the next time I put up another video.